Good afternoon. Today's project is we're going to see if we can't figure out why the cooling fan on this 800 watt power inverter is making so much noise. More importantly, we're going to see if we can't get that fan to quiet down. I'm going to power it on for you right now, and we're going to listen to that fan. So if you watched the other video where I was able to get this thing working by replacing the fuse, you saw in that video that fan was making noise. It's still making noise. And I believe it's temperature related. It's about 30 degrees and it makes noise. I did have it in the house. I warmed it up and the noise went away. So my theory is that the bearing on the fan itself probably is going, but I'm thinking we can get by with just adding a little bit of oil to that bearing, see if it'll quiet down, see if that'll make it last longer. With the battery disconnected, we are going to start disassembling this. My theory is that I can pull just the back of this off, slide it out, and I'll have access to my fan. Some models, the aluminum case comes apart. I don't think this is one of those. I think this is where I actually have to slide the front and the back off. There might be a tray or something inside that comes out. So let's get started. I'm going to remove 4 screws on the back where the fan is located. To make this a little bit easier, I'm going to remove the cables as well. They're not exactly in the way, but I think that it's just going to make it easier if they're not sitting there. Putting the cables back on will be relatively easy. On most of the inverters I've seen, the posts are color coordinated. So you can see the caps were red and black, and the posts themselves are red and black. The cables are red and black. So it shouldn't be too hard to get this back to where it's supposed to be. All right, let's see if this back will just slide out. Answer is yes. Not a lot of extra wire to work with here, but should be enough for me to get that fan off of there. All right, we have the fan loose. This cooling fan is pretty much just a standard electronics cooling fan, the same type of thing that you would find inside of a computer, more of a desktop type cooling fan than a laptop. And what we want to do is see if I can actually unplug the wires. That would help me. I'm not seeing that that's going to be possible. So I think we'll just have to work with what we got. What I'm after is there's a bearing underneath this sticker. There's probably a little plastic cap, and then we just got to put some oil in the oil well, spin the fan a little bit, and get that oil to seep in. And we can do that with it still connected. All right, let's try and get that sticker off. And we need to reuse the sticker, so don't damage it. All right, I got the sticker off without completely destroying it. This fan does not have a plastic cap on. Some do, this one doesn't. It's just wide open. That's the bearing. So there's a shaft in there, and then there's a bearing, and you can just put oil right into this well and let it sink in. The oil that we're going to use is sewing machine oil, all-purpose mineral oil. You can use a number of different oils. Even a 3-in-1 oil would work. But you want something that is thin and will protect at high speeds. Sewing machine oil is kind of the go-to oil for cooling fans. So we're just going to put one drop in and spin the fan. I'm going to drop one more drop in there. That was 2. You also don't want to get any oil on the plastic surface here because this sticker has to stick back down tightly in order to prevent the oil from leaking out. I'm going to leave that sit for just a minute and let that oil sink down. Alright, I have let that oil soak for a little bit. Now what I want to do is I want to take a paper towel and I want to try and get any excess out of there. I don't need this leaking. You notice how the way the fan is sitting, this sticker is on the outside. If it was to leak, you're going to end up with oil running out of the back. It's not going to run inside, which is probably better, but still I don't want oil leaking out of it at all. So I'm going to just try and wick a little bit of the excess oil out of there. And if this works, it might be a temporary fix because generally if those bearings are making noise like that, it means that it's on its way out. But a new fan is about 15 bucks and a repair like this can last quite a while. I mean, if this was in a computer that was on, say 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you might get a couple years out of it, maybe more. This inverter is not going to be on that much. So as you can see, I now got oil on the plastic surface that I was saying to not get oil on. So I've got some alcohol on this paper towel. I'm going to use that to wipe up the oil. I need that sticker to stick well. Interestingly enough, there's no plastic cap. Some do, some don't. So I think I got the oil off. I'll give it a second or two for the alcohol to dry. We'll put the sticker back on, put the fan back in, button it up, and then we'll give it a try. Put the sticker back down even and tight. Try to get it how it was originally. I wasn't able to get this to come up very nicely, so I ended up chewing up the edge of it. That's okay. I didn't wreck it, but the edge of it's a little curled. That's all right, provided you can get it to stick tight. And I think we can do that. All right, now it's a matter of putting the fan back in. So fan, grate, and then screws. We just reverse the steps, put it back the way we found it. Don't go crazy, nothing was all that tight. Fan wasn't that dirty either. If it had been, this would have been a good opportunity to try and clean it up a little bit. I'm going to get the screws started. I'm not going to tighten them up just yet. All right, they're all started. I'm going to tighten them up. Okay, so now we're going to put the cables back on. Black to black, red to red. Very important. So this is my red cable, black. Take the red nut, put it on. Red cable's on the red post, use the red nut. Black cable's on the black post, use the black nut. Make sure they're good and tight. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but as I was tightening it, the cable wanted to creep up. I pushed the cable back down. If that cable's sitting in front of the fan, that could prevent it from cooling it adequately. So make sure the cable's not in the way, or anything else is in the way, for that matter, wherever you end up putting it. All right, here's the moment of truth we've all been waiting for. I'm going to power it back on and see if that fan is quiet. Look at that. Not a sound. I'm kidding, I didn't turn it on. Here we go. I'd say that's a success. That was nice and quiet. Fan turns off after just a few seconds. The fan would kick on again if it was getting hot and it needed to. So I'll turn it off and I'll turn it on again. We'll see if we can hear that one more time. And we'll see if we can get the mic a little bit closer to the fan. Beautiful. All right, that was a success. This oiling trick on the fan will work on computers, anything that's got a small fan like this on electronics, power supplies for computers, other fans within the computer, the fan on this. So if that is what your inverter or cooling fan is doing, making some noise like that, give this trick a shot, and good luck. Thanks for watching.